what did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No. No, you didn't. Fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. I was like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. She's had this ridiculously high turnover.
Bill Maher just roasted CNN for shamelessly fawning over Kamala Harris while never missing a chance to slam Donald Trump. He called out the network's obsession with spinning every headline to favor Democrats, blaming that bias for Harris's collapse in the spotlight. Maher's critique wasn't just sharp, it was one of his boldest in years, and it left CNN looking exposed.
CNN is the place where both sides can watch. And
I'm talking about the people on CNN, and what I know what the conservative side of America thinks, and I don't blame them. They were just gushing about how great a speech it was. And I think she did fine. I didn't think it was as good as they were making it out to.
Think back. CNN practically swooned whenever Kamala said anything remotely coherent. A simple "we must do better" was treated like groundbreaking policy. They rolled out pundits and panels to paint her as a political genius. Spoiler, she wasn't. And Maher ripped into it, saying CNN wasn't doing journalism. It was running PR.
It does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View.
I don't think that you can say that CNN is anything but fair. Everyone who was speaking last night, it's not like they were all Democrats. We had Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, Abby Phillip.
They come across
giving
that way.
Analysis.
They come across that way. In a moment like that, it was like 5-1. It always looks like 5-1.
When Caitlin Collins tried to defend CNN, Maher wasn't having it. Sure, CNN brings on Republicans, but as he pointed out, it's always a lopsided fight. 5 liberals versus 1 token conservative. Then he dropped the hammer, comparing CNN's panels to The View. For a so-called serious news outlet, that was a brutal hit.
Conservatives do not trust CNN because it is so staunchly anti-Trump. He's not wrong, because they'll put on people like Adam Kinzinger or Anna Navarro, George Conway, and call them Republicans, or pretend that's being balanced by putting them on by saying, oh, see, these conservatives don't even like Trump. Only Scott Jennings over there can be called a conservative. And Maher is right. It's almost always 5-1 on shows they portray as news programs.
This is why so many people don't trust CNN. Their Republican voices are props, not challengers. They're to make the panel look smart. Viewers can see the deck is stacked, and they tune out. Maher nailed it. CNN isn't offering honest debate, just stage theater, and Americans are done watching the show.
Do you have the time? Your answer is not, I do. Do you have the time? Right. Yes, it's 4 o'clock. Well, you have to understand that words don't always mean what they mean.
And when Tim Walz said, like, the American people, I talk like they do. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're a huge liar, like all politicians are. I don't care, by the way. I've always said this about politics. They're all going to lie. They're politics. It's what they lie about. Mm-hmm. I don't give it. What you did during the Iraq. You were in the Guard. So I don't understand why they just can't. You're just insulting my intelligence.
Bill Maher didn't hold back. He ripped into Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for peddling shameless lies during their cushy interviews. Walz, with his fake warrior image, has been caught exaggerating his record. Harris claimed she'd been to the border. She hadn't. Then her team spun a bogus story about Joe Rogan not inviting her. Maher cut through it all, calling it what it was, pure deception dressed as credibility, enabled by a media too scared to push back.
What did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No. No, you didn't. Fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. I was like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. She's had this ridiculously high turnover. Like 42 of 47 people as vice president are gone. Just blame it on them. You know why these are gone? Gave me the wrong information on fracking.
Kamala Harris has mastered one political skill better than anyone else, the art of dodging. Whenever pressed on tough issues, she sidesteps, reshapes, and rebrands her past positions as if people don't remember. Fracking is the perfect example. She once stood firmly against it, But when the winds shifted, she conveniently rewrote history. And then there's the infamous word salad moment. When asked what she could do better than Biden, she stitched together a rambling string of half-thoughts that sounded lofty, but meant nothing. It was incoherence dressed up as depth, and Maher highlighted it precisely because it revealed her entire political style. Speak at length, avoid saying anything real, and hope the media polishes the nonsense into brilliance. But more people are waking up to the emptiness, and the laughs are turning into groans.
What the bug up there is about IVF. I mean, I certainly understand abortion. You know, there's a baby growing in the womb. I get it. It's going to be a human. Doesn't bother me. But yes, it is murder. Again, doesn't bother me that it is.
You're not supposed to mess with that. That's what many people think. You're supposed to let.
Oh, I see.
Great man upstairs.
Oh,
yeah, it goes back to that It goes back to that stem cell debate that George Bush had.
Yes.
Remember? It goes like the Terry Shive. It's just like life, laugh. We support laugh.
Still, Maher isn't above criticism himself. For all his sharp commentary, he carries a glaring moral contradiction that alienates conservatives. On one side, he passionately calls out the Catholic Church for its scandals and its failure to protect children, a position many agree with. Yet on the other, he defends abortion with a casual shrug, dismissing the lives of unborn children as if they hold no value. That hypocrisy is impossible to ignore. How can someone who claims to fight for justice be blind to the destruction of the most innocent? It's not just inconsistency, it's grotesque. And it's the reason why Maher will always hover in the middle, sharp enough to roast the left, but morally compromised enough to never fully align with the right. He wants to be the fearless truth-teller, but in this case, he's dodging the most important truth of all.
What explains Donald Trump's appeal to young men? I saw today that the gender gap, I think, is the widest. I mean, it's very predictable. I mean, the women are much more for Kamala, and the men are much more for Trump, generally.
But it's not predictable if you look at past elections where voters under 30, generally men and women, went for Democrats. This is remarkable. I think to explain it...
Wait, what? You're talking about under 30?
Yeah, the under 30 gender gap was very different than past elections.
The cracks in Kamala's campaign are showing most clearly with young men, a group Democrats cannot afford to lose, but one she's steadily alienating. For years, progressives have pushed policies and cultural narratives that weaken men, mock masculinity, and sideline their role in society. Instead of correcting that mistake, Harris doubled down. Her choice of a running mate was telling. She could have picked a younger man to re-energize a frustrated base, but instead, she went with an older, safe pick that offered no inspiration. Contrast that with Trump, who brought in a younger running mate to project energy, vitality, and belief in the future. That difference speaks volumes. To many young men, Harris represents a movement that has no room for them, while Trump signals he wants them on the front lines. The result? She's bleeding support in a demographic she can't survive without.
In 2020, young men and young women voted for Joe Biden at roughly the same rate. Over the last 4 years, and now with Kamala Harris, young women are voting for Kamala Harris at that same level, if not more. Kamala Harris has barely moved the needle with young men. They have gone more toward Trump. There's a lot of reasons for that. I think Trump has exploited culture war stuff. He appears on hyper-masculine podcasts, and he just seems like a fun bro who's not going to ban your zins, you know?
The left loves to sneer at podcasts and platforms where masculinity is celebrated, painting them as toxic or outdated. But the truth is far different. Strong men build strong families, protect their communities, and stabilize nations. Weak men, by contrast, breed chaos, dependency, and cultural decay. That's why so many Americans gravitated toward Trump in 2016 and 2020. He stood unapologetically for toughness, conviction, and resilience in a time when the cultural elite demanded submission and softness. This wasn't just about politics, it was about defending masculinity itself. Millions of voters were tired of being told strength is dangerous, tired of being lectured that masculinity is a problem to be solved. They wanted leaders who would embrace it, not dismantle it. That cultural revolt hasn't gone away. If anything, it's growing louder, and the political class ignores it at their own peril.
Could actually be, this is a real issue for Kamala Harris, though. Like, this could be fatal for her campaign. So if Democrats need to win 60% of the youth vote to win the White House. Hillary came up short. Obama did it. Biden did it. Kamala Harris is right now at like 55% of the youth vote. If she doesn't get to 60, she could lose the election. And it's because young men, Gen Z men, are breaking the Trump.
And here's the danger Harris faces. Young men are not just drifting from her message. They are actively rejecting it. That's a political crisis waiting to explode. This isn't some minor demographic loss she can shrug off. Young men were a crucial block for Democrats. And now they're moving away because they see a party that mocks masculinity, erases traditional strength, and offers no role for them in its vision of the future. If Harris wants to survive, she would need to do more than tweak talking points. She would have to abandon the woke agenda that sees toughness as toxic and replace it with policies that respect men, empower them, and give them purpose. But that pivot looks unlikely. And without it, the writing is on the wall. Come Election Day, young men won't just sit out. They'll vote against her. The Democratic war on masculinity is backfiring, and Harris may not recover in time.